side. Tokumura drew a picture. I don't know where it was. Might have been in the house. I don't know. We might have been drinking. I have no idea. But he drew. He said, Sensei Shimobuku said, this point, like this, is good. These were made right next to the dojo. So you went over there, yeah, and you would walk up, and the guy would measure you. He'd measure you and everything else. You see it goes finger and all this, and he'd actually measure you, and he'd make these things right there on the spot. This was a tie rod, car tie rods. The reason I know this is when you walked in there, you had tie rods all over, and it's already shaped. All he has to do is grind. Then he'd put a knot on here, a bolt, and then he'd grind it down. Then he had these pieces he had to make individually, and then he'd just weld them on there. So this here was tailor-made, and then many of us had it chrome-plated. At home I have a chrome-plated pair. And then they came in sets of what? 3, but many people couldn't afford them because they were expensive. They cost $2.50 a piece. So a lot of people in them days didn't have the $2.50, and so that's what they cost at that time, $2.50. And so I had a set like this, 3, because one is for throwing, and that's my working pair. The other pair is chromed. I only got a set of 2. Then the person making it was Miyazato family in Nagina, and for 30 years going back and forth, every time I went in there, he said he's not making them anymore. He says, I'm not making them anymore. Higher price. So I bought them. And then finally about 10 years ago, he stopped making them. But he told me that percentage. And Soichi was the one that helped me buy the last pair. So Soichi came in there, and this was the last pair that he, or the last group side that he ever made. So, little story. Okay, so this type, this octagon bolt on the end, this type. Yeah, that's what Sensei Shimobuku told me. And these are, in my opinion, better than any sai out there. Who's got Shiryu? I mean, that you can show me. Oh, back. That's it. Go ahead. How this one? They're good, but see the end? Yeah.
I asked Fredo, my friend of him, someone, and special making.
Yeah.
Fredo making.
Make one?
Yeah, I got it.
A little different.
Where? Fredo?
I got it when he was
7. Yeah, no, sir. Sí, okay, ask him.
Tokumura just said that Tatsu spoke to him before. Okay, this type side and this type. Can you see the difference? Mm-hmm. This here comes.
It's more circular. More circular.
This is like this. Okay? He said, Tatsu said this was the preferred. Now, we didn't make them that way, but this is preferred. Why?
The weapon doesn't come out.
Because that's right. So once the weapon gets in there, then it's used for hooking in this. If you look, the Japanese bayonet was made the same way. The Japanese bayonet was made exactly the same way. You see how it hooks? And that was why the Japanese, and not only the Japanese, many armies at that time created bayonets like this. One more time. Yes, so one more time.
This, sometimes mistake.
And then if you try to do that break,
Yeah. This, hard. Do the tattoo.
where were those made
Chinese size are even bigger. The one advantage of the big one is you have more chance of catching and all that. So that each has an advantage. But the balance in this are the best. And again, I believe, this is my own personal opinion, I believe that when you hook them like that, like guys like Sherman can't, they can't get their palm in there. Try that.
See, this is how, I got a set of size that are identical to this. And what happens is I get my hand in it, and a lot of times I come across and it'll cut me right
Well, see? We didn't even